敵の意志をくじく。戦う
Good
意
luck.
志を、立ち上がる意志を、抗う意志を悟らせてやろう。お前の努力と自信。
It's not going
い
to be
か
that
に無意
easy.
味なものかをな。
He's in for a surprise as well, of course. Right? He doesn't. He, us, the audience knows, and of course, you know, his close friend Killua knows, and people like Bisky know. Hisoka. This man, the bomber Genthru, sorry, doesn't truly know Gon's nature. But you have training for this. You have training for this kind of thing. Good. That's right. Ah. Oh, right. There's the opening though, right? All of that training being put to use. Oof. Ah. Good. Good. But he did.
ダメージを最小限にとどめたという勘で俺が爆破しないと判断したか。いや、あの顔は違う。なんでゲンスルーは自分の爆発で火傷をしないんだろう。
Go on then. Well, Aura, of course, but stronger than his explosion. Haha, the yo-yos. Nice.
いい反応だ。要は完璧に近いわね。じゃあもう一度。あれ？違いが分かった？うん。2回目は。
Ah, okay. So he picked up on that on the second attempt from Genthru.
その違いを感じ取れれば、やつとの戦いが
Yes, you can tell the difference.
ゲンスルーがリトルフラワーを使うときは、行で手を覆う。逆に能力を使うと見せかけて別のとこを攻撃してくるときはおそらく行は使わない。
Go on,
あんた
go
の
on.
体に触れたやつの手が行で覆われているか否か。それでやつの二択攻撃をある程度防ぐことができるのよさ。
Nice. Put it all to use.
貴様らの浅い戦略などすべて逆効果だ。オーラでの防御が不十分な状態でリトルフラワーを受けた場合、顔なら目、鼻、口などは吹き飛ばされ、
I mean, it's high risk, of course, but
腕や足なら表皮
it is gone after all.
神経や筋肉に重大な障害が
How descriptive.
お前には才能があり未来があり、次のチャンスもある。意地だけでそのすべてを捨てるのはあまりに無意味だと思う。さっさと諦めろこのクソガキ。
Look at this.
もしもやつが両手を爆発に使うような素振りを見せたらもう赤信号よ。何を置いても作戦実行にのみ集中すること。ごめん。
That's the
ビスケ。
right.
キルはここから先は俺のわがまま試さないと気が済まないんだ。だって思いついちゃったから。
Gon's great ideas are
本当にそう思っているならお前が降りろゲンスルー。くらえ。
whoa. Whoa.
何が起きた？
Okay, something happened. He felt something. Oh, he got hit. Oh.
ダメージ。
He landed his strike. I didn't see it though.
やばい。動け。避けるんだ。
Lucky. Tripped on that thing. Little rock.
わかったぞ。このガキ。両手を捨てやがった。こいつ左右の手でダメージが違う。おそらく左手は完全に捨てて、
Oh my god, God.
程度のオーラで追い、残りの攻防力70を足に集中させて俺を攻撃した。
That's the strike he landed. He sacrificed his hand to land that strike.
それを両手同時に消費すれば他の箇所のオーラは
Right.
極度に少なく
He left the opening.
そこを突かれた。
Yeah, this is. I gave him a pretty good scare. This guy, this kid. Quite a deliberate choice for the background score as well, right? That's again through the bomber saying that. Now you get to know Gon. Oh. No, no, of course he's not gonna give up. No, Gon? So you can't say gain or book. Gon! Oh, he walked right into it. Oh. But the first one. Let's see. Oh, you've done it now. He gave you the benefit. Oh, the benefit of the doubt, but he's drenched. Ah, now he can't use it. Yeah, yeah.
相手の体に触れながらボマーといえばその触れた箇所に爆弾を仕掛けることができる能力だ。爆弾を解除するためには俺の体に触れてボマー捕まえたと言わねばならない。
He sure does like explaining it, but that's part of the.
これで発動条件は整った。条件が
整った。
I was about to say it's standing his ground. Oh, the voice acting. It's a trap. Part of the plan, I'm guessing. It's all coming together, all the training. My friend, stop and think about it. You might be the one stuck in here. Whoa. Whoa. Oh, the boulder. So they dug that. Then I saw the boulder as well. It's all coming together. The training, the experiences, the encounters. That shot of him disappearing into the shadows. Yeah, no, you lost your chance. Ooh. Whoa. Oh man, look at him. You know, I'm proud of him, but also, you know, there's this lingering concern, like constant concern, given the things he tried out. That's that. So, yeah, you know, I saw a bit of this connection a few episodes ago. 6 copies of clone. Now, I didn't get to see a reaction to Gon's missing hand. Their reaction. Oh, I finally get to see it. How about Killua's hands, though? Well, I mean, they have Breath of the Archangel, eh? Oh. That's insane, though. The kid lost his hand. But now it's back as well. That's even more insane. Look at him. Goreno.
納得いかねえ。こんな人殺しの連中に大天使を使うのなら、トレードは断る。
俺ならいいの？
もちろんだ。
俺も殺し屋だぜ。こいつら以上に人を殺してる。
Yeah, that kill count's gotta be quite immense.
大なり小なり命をかけてきてる。だから殺してもいいってわけじゃないけど、俺が殺してきたのはそんな覚悟から程遠いところにいた人ばかり。俺の方がよっぽど立ち悪いだろう。
いや、お前とこいつらとは違う。
I mean, yeah, you gotta. I like you, but I hate their guts. You can apply that to so many of these characters.
感情の問題だ。
俺だってゲンスルーが大勢のプレイヤーを殺したこと許してないよ。戦う前に3人で決めたんだ。クローンは6枚用意しておこうって。その時の会話の流れはよく覚えてないけど。
Just kind of came naturally, I suppose.
論理的に決めたことじゃない。3人で自然に決めたことなんだ。勝負がついて。
So yeah, he knew there's a safety net, but still, that's.
3人で決めたことだから絶対守りたかったけど、ごめんキルは。もう少し我慢してくれる？問題なし。
Of course he'll say it's no problem.
ゲンスルーに使ってやってくれ。
Oh, look at this.
俺は平気だ。ここに来て話を聞く前は渡すつもりだったんだよ。大天使だけじゃなく、俺たちのカード。
Okay, so they've discussed it already.
これはチェズゲラ含め、俺たち5人全員の合意だ。俺たちはもうゲームを降りたんだ。
Yes.
完璧に治った。
Go on, kill.
チェズゲラたちに違約金を払う形でな。俺も40億で手を打ったよ。何言ってんだよ。4人で10億ずつ分けるに決まってんだろ。当然だろう。これは俺一人の力じゃない。お前らと一時でも組んだからこそ収入。
I love him, man.
とにかくこのカードはすべてお前たちにやる。これで指定ポケットカードは99枚。残るはナンバー0のみってわけだ。
Number 0。
残り1枚。あ、そしてこれが99種目。
Ah. Ooh, that's a big deal. A rare moment.
グリードアイランド内にいるプレイヤー全員参加のクイズ大会を開始いたします。正解率の最も高かったプレイヤーに商品としましてナンバー0。
Hey, I remember them. The City of Love. Hisoka and the Nen Exorcist. Okay. Hey, he can come in.
おそらくカードを奪っただけのプレイヤーじゃ答えられないようなクイズになってる。
I was gonna say the Nen Exorcist can show up and disarm the bomb now, right? I mean, he's tied down. He's just laying there now. Oh, he did show up.
長きにわたる戦いは今最終章を迎えようとしている。
Okay, let's get into it. I mean, first of all, that is the official midpoint of Hunter x Hunter, episode 74. Yeah, it's a good feeling. And yeah, 74 episodes in, I feel really quite dialed in. And, it feels like there's quite a rhythm going on at this point, right? It just feels like, I mean, it is essentially perhaps the most consistent series on the channel. Maybe. I mean, certainly one that's kind of reached, this number, 74 episodes. I know Dark was probably, that was really quite consistent. And yeah, essentially at the midpoint, episode 74, or by the end of it, I essentially get the conclusion, right? Maybe not to Greed Island per se, but at least to the bomber arc or the story arc, the mini arc within Greed Island. And now, it's just a matter of, I suppose, wrapping up a few loose ends. I mean, they just set up a totally new thing that I didn't really hear about before. I suppose it can only really kind of be implemented once, someone does gain access to 99 of those cards, right? And then, of course, immediately it kicked in. And now, there's a quiz that is open to everyone. Not just Gon, Killua, Bisky, or the person who holds the 99 cards. And yeah, it's this quiz about just the cards and the game mechanics. So yeah, that's certainly an interesting setup there. I mean, right in the conclusion, a bunch of people showed up, right? Including our Nen Exorcist. Now, my immediate thought was, okay, you've got the bomber squad, and specifically the bomber himself, right? Genthuru, just laid out, right, in a nice little package. So someone like the Nen Exorcist can go right up to him at this point, right? Nothing's stopping him. He could easily just disarm himself now, and rid himself of that Nen beast that's kind of taken a hold of him, right? That did become a constant companion, and of course, hopefully if he does kind of go in and disarm the bomb, he can kind of get rid of that poncho and everything, and he'll finally feel I don't know, free, and I suppose look into the next phase, because they did show me Hisoka, right? They showed me Hisoka's arm and the back of his outfit. It's really quite unmissable. The moment you see Hisoka, it's Hisoka. I also see some of those characters from really early on in Greed Island. They're in front of the city of love, right? Those goons, right? Those two guys. So yeah. The thing is, now that it's been confirmed, into the system itself, Greed Island's system, the binder, the book system, that someone has collected 99. Is there even does it even make it, I don't know, is it still a possibility that someone could jump them and actually take those cards, or is it now kind of registered and it's officially moved on to this phase, right? I suppose the last phase, and that is this quiz for card number 0. God damn it, it had a really interesting name. The ruler's something, the ruler's blessing. Yes, yeah, I think that's the one. But of course, before I got to that point, I get to see the execution of Killua's plan. I just get to see the trio, pull through, come out on top, right? Best, Genthru and the bomber squad. Now, of course, there's a detour, as showcased or as hinted in the last episode. Gon had another idea, right? He had other plans. Though, of course, once he is satiated, he almost immediately just returns to the plan itself, right? It's oh my god. Yeah, I'm still thinking about some of the imagery that I've seen in this episode. Some of it is really quite, I don't know, it's some of the most I don't know, significant, some of the most memorable, right? Some of the most haunting even, that I've seen in the anime so far. And it's all in relation to Gon. And again, his detour, the tour de force that is Gon Freaks, right? This tornado, this hurricane. I mean, it is certainly quite the jarring experience to see someone so wholesome, someone so upbeat, someone who can be considered quite innocent, naive, jolly. But it's a fascinating thing to see him kind of switch over, right? To kind of, I don't know, man, to kind of, how do I even put this? To kind of tap into that inner demon. I mean, there's that one shot of Gon, right? And this is after both I and Genthuru realize and kind of get to see that Gon sacrificed his hand. I mean, it's not his hand, it's his forearm, essentially, right? It's half of his arm that's gone. And also the right hand as well, right? And that shot of him, and then of course the really, really deliberate and specific piece of music that accompanies that shot of Gon, right? And the look on his face is, oh my god, that it's just, see, that's the point I was trying to make. Someone so jolly and upbeat, and then I see that, he's got tears in his eyes, but the look on his face is of this almost steely, defiance, right? Almost demonic. It's one of those shots that I'll never forget. I just know that, by the time I finish the series, by the time I get to episode 148, this image is still going to be so fresh in my mind. And, beyond the image itself, I think this fight, this encounter, and everything it kind of showcased. And, first of all, before I go any further, the fight itself, right? The Genthru and Gon fight, it's really quite excellent. Really, really quite excellent. Really quite engaging. It certainly had this rhythmic flow to it. And I think it's an excellent combination and execution of action and strategy, right? It's a brilliant sequence, all of it, right? It's got highs. It's got incredible highs, high stakes. This is essentially one of the most dangerous situations, Gon's been a part of. He essentially bested someone who is, far more experienced than him, far more experienced. And at multiple points of that encounter, of that fight, he's legitimately in danger. His actions actually make Genthru, the bomber, take a step back, right? The man looks like he's seen a ghost. The man is just rattled at the sight of this kid, at the things that this kid is able to kind of put his mind to, and go beyond that even, right? He called him insane, right? He's legitimately terrified. It's not fun and games anymore. It's not all about, oh, I'm going to teach him a lesson. I'm going to break his spirit. I'm going to show him that all of his hard work means nothing, absolutely nothing. Yet, Gon is not something. I just said something. Gon is not someone that you can really prepare for, right? Especially as an outsider who does not know Gon's nature. Now, of course, I saw a preview of this, really similar situation, right? A bit of a controlled setting, kind of. The Hunter exam, Hanzo, in the final phase of the Hunter exam. And much like the Hanzo incident or the Hanzo fight or that encounter and everything that kind of happened and took place as far as, establishing Gon's nature, his, personality, his characteristics, things he finds unacceptable. That was a strong indication already back then in the Hunter exam arc. But now, this actually is one of the standout episodes of Greed Island, but then also the anime as a whole. I feel that, 74 episodes in now, midpoint, there's a handful of moments that you can kind of go back to, right? A handful of moments that kind of feel significant in terms of foreshadowing, in terms of character progression, character development, all of that. But, there's certain moments that truly feel like, okay, this is probably bit of a marker, bit of a bookmark. I've already seen a bunch of it pay off, right? But now, this encounter, this is something else, right? This is the first time I've seen Gon take it to this extreme. Again, they've hinted at it that he is someone that could take it to the extreme. One of the things I really enjoyed about this encounter, it really kind of brought everything together. I love it anytime an episode or a moment, or again, a significant moment at that, kind of brings everything together, right? Puts it all together. And you see that throughout this fight sequence, throughout this encounter. And you see, bits and pieces of everything, right? Be it their initial encounters before they even come across Bisky, be it the incredible training that they did have with someone like Bisky. A lot of her training is on display, right? On display, both in the plan itself, right? And Gon's approach. You see the gear. He's kind of perfected it. There's also the hand-to-hand CQC component of it, right? Close quarters combat. Getting through and Gon, the super speedy hands. I saw both Gon and Bisky practice that quite a bit, train, in that manner quite a bit, really quite recently as well. The boulder, the massive boulder, the boulder formation makes a lot of sense all of a sudden, right? Once it shows up, once it transforms. I see, the timer that's actually showcased just in the last episode, I believe, Gon trying to get it to 1/100th of a second, it pays off here. It's the time, the 1 minute limit, right? And he times it to perfection. I suppose even the digging component of it came into play, right? Earlier on, they had to dig through that canyon, right? Dig through the mountains, and then of course the production side of things, be it the animation for the fight sequences, the art direction, the voice acting. Gon's voice acting, or the voice actor, is really, really, quite phenomenal in this, I think. There's even subtle moments, little moments, like right at the end, right after he delivers the knockout blow. Though I must admit, for a split moment, I thought maybe Gon actually landed a lethal blow, and then maybe he did kill Genthru. But it's quite a significant strike, of course. It messed him up good. It did. And at that point, he's legitimately begging for mercy, right? He is surrendering, but again, Gon's not falling for it again. Hell, Gon got really agitated, and I think he even said something like, that's the worst thing you could have done, right? It's almost as if that gave Gon the license to almost go all out now, right? And you see that, even in the middle of it, even in the middle of executing something so incredibly dangerous and risky and self-destructive, in that sense, Gon's idea or concept of consequences is a bit different than most, to say the least. I feel like this is something that is going to continue, right? One of the things that's been clear now for some time, actually, but especially over the span of the past few episodes as well, and I spoke of this, I think, in the last episode's discussion. I mentioned something about Gon is not someone you can tame. These habits, this personality of his nature, this is not something that can just kind of change overnight. These are habits, and these are traits that are going to be a part of him, perhaps for a significant portion of this anime, or for this storyline. Again, I say anime because I do know it goes beyond the anime, so I'm not even sure the ending off point. But going back to the voice acting, after he delivers that knockout blow, the oos, it's got this scratchy, not quality, but it just sounds kind of scratchy. Of course, the windpipe, was crushed, right? Mostly, I believe. And after that, you see, anytime he is kind of still trying to kind of say it out loud, right? First comes rock. You can hear it. You can hear the difference already. And the thing that felt really authentic is him reacting, or the voice acting rather, of him getting punched, right? Him reacting to the pain of losing your forearm, losing your hand. At one point, it kind of kicks in. Maybe at first, he didn't quite feel it, but then, it's really quite apparent. You see that it's this immediate, sudden burst of pain, right? Immense burst of pain that you can just kind of read on his face because of the animation, and then because of the voice acting. Right? I thought it was really, really quite fantastic. And one of the craziest things about this is that even after his detour from, the established plan, he still manages to pull it off, right? Once he comes back on that path, on the planned path, after, again, satiating his ego, perhaps. Again, a bit more on that later. But after that, after losing a hand, after being in that immense amount of pain, right? The type of pain that most people are never going to experience. He somehow fights through that, right? He fights through it and still executes the rest of the plan, right? To perfection. And, once they are down in the pitfall, the trap, the hole, again, some beautiful imagery there. And at that point, it's this really funny moment. Not funny in the haha moment, funny in the, oh, this guy does not even realize it. And I'm speaking of Genthru. Genthru thought, oh, okay, yeah, he's stuck in here too now, so I still have a go at him. That kind of felt like his mindset at that point. But it's so clear. It's so clear that he does not understand at that point that he's stuck in here with Gon, right? And the presentation there, the hideout, the little tunnel, you barely kind of get to see Gon's silhouette, right? Some of the light from above kind of hits him. Oh my God, that shot. I didn't say it at the time, but it gave me goosebumps. Immediately, it just kind of, got a reaction out of me, like a physical reaction. I mean, goosebumps are a physical reaction, right? And then, and even before that, he calls out his name, right? And then Genthru begins to panic because he sees that, he's not around anymore all of a sudden. Because of course, he retreats to the hole. And then of course, Genthru also has to retreat there, right? And then of course, because of that, he becomes trapped and he's got nothing other than taking the punch head on. That shot of Gon just disappearing into the shadows. Oh, listen, man, in this episode, I've seen that this little dude, Gon Freaks, he can be absolutely terrifying. I actually even feel that this episode establishes Gon as this, I don't know, really distinct or unique individual that's out there in the world at this, the world of hunters at this point, right? After this encounter. And then of course, like I said, back at the dodgeball game, some of these people, people like Tezagera, people like Razor, Gorenyu, and Tezagera's men, all of them, they saw this individual, really unique, one of a kind individual, right? The type of person you speak about, the type of person you don't forget, the type of individual you don't forget, right? Much like Jing, his father, right? Quite a memorable, quite a unique individual, right? I mean, beyond that, he's quite a legendary figure in the hunter community, right? Again, I always go back to Satotes, because someone like Satotes having that type of respect for Jing, again, kind of plays into that whole idea of telling us about a character or filling in the blanks, and kind of building not a backstory, but a bit of a, I don't know, profile for a character through the opinions of his peers, right? Through the opinion of people that have come across him, people that have, been around him for a number of reasons. Someone like Razor. To me, it truly felt like after, the events of this encounter and the things I saw, Gon truly kind of crossed the threshold at this point. I don't know, the thing that keeps coming to mind is Gon Freaks is a force of nature, right? And the thing is, it still kind of feels like early days, and these are the things that he's capable of, right? And, you go back to that episode of Benolt, and how similar Benolt is or was to Gon, but, one bad day, one bad moment, one breaking point, it just kind of changed his trajectory and, turned him into something else entirely. As far as Gon is concerned, in this episode, as ruthless or as reckless, as idiotic even, of course it's idiotic. Some of the stuff he is just implementing and open to doing, like sacrificing his hand, his arm. Now, of course, there is that element of the safety net, right? The breath of the Archangel. I mean, it certainly was part of the plans, right? That, they are going to acquire it. That is, I mean, hopefully, right? And then, of course, they'll have copies and they'll be able to use it on multiple individuals, right? Of course, you see, you see the bomber, Genthru. You see Bara and the other guy. Sorry, I cannot remember the other guy's name. Seb? No, not Seb. Something along those lines. But I know Bara. And look at that. Genthru took Gon's attack full force, point blank, right? Messed him up good. But even so, Genthru felt that Bara should be getting immediate attention. He should be the one who should immediately get the effects of the breath of the Archangel. And that was one of his conditions, right? I'll hand over the cards and I'll return the cards I stole as long as you use the breath of the Archangel on Bara. And of course, all of us know Bara had his encounter with Bisky. But yeah, ultimately, because of that stunt he pulled, he is able to land quite the strike on Genthru. And I love the presentation of that. He's rocked. He took it right to the jaw. Gon landed a perfect strike. It's like a hybrid of an axe kick and an up kick. You know, he truly has him rocked. But at that point, he had no idea. Hell, even I was a little bit confused at that point. And then it became a little bit clear that, okay, you know, Gon landed a hit. Something happened here, but I didn't see it. And then, of course, you know, they kind of go back and show me how exactly it happened. And yeah, you know, even though, you know, that safety net is kind of there, you know, the pain is real. You know, losing your hand is losing your hand, regardless of it potentially being restored. As it is by the end of the episode. And you see he's really quite happy about it, you know, does a little happy dance. So is Killua, of course. And I was really quite happy to see that as well, you know, Killua getting restored or his hands being restored. But yeah, it's just crazy, man. It's just crazy how far he's able to push it. And I just know that this kind of thing is going to come up again, right? It just is. Like I said, you know, he's not just going to, you know, change overnight. And naturally, things are going to progress, right? They might become much more dangerous. As of this point, it still kind of feels like controlled chaos. It does, right? Because he understands. He understood that he's giving up his arm at that moment. It's a calculated decision. He knows. But you know, he's just able to cross that bridge almost immediately. But, you know, putting yourself through all of this is one thing. But, you know, it becomes really quite tricky. And becomes quite a slippery slope once, you know, other people kind of get roped into it or other people kind of become a part of it, right? Even if it isn't planned or anything, right? Just through association or just through proximity, through just, you know, traveling party and, you know, any tricky situation they might find themselves in, then, you know, things become a little bit dicey, a little bit hairy. But yeah, ultimately, Gon risked his team's mission. Right? Selfishly, of course, because he simply felt the need to satiate that hunger, right? That urge, that itch, the curiosity, right? That ego, the pride. I mean, he can push himself to do some incredibly reckless things, right? I mean, it's completely foolish, you know, to push it to that extreme, you know, for his specific desired outcome. Right? The trade-off is incredibly lopsided. To land that hit, that axe kick, that up kick on Genthuru, he had to sacrifice his hands, right? One side, the left side, just completely, right? Yes, again, you know, safety net and all of that, breath of the Archangel, but still, right? It's still, you just don't know if that is a guarantee. And also one of the standout moments for me, at least, is Genthuru actually, you know, it's internal monologue, of course, but at that point he understands, okay, this is someone that's kind of special, right? He noticed his talent, right? And, you know, the promising future and all of that, didn't he? So, you know, once again, I get someone that's quite experienced in Genthuru, the bomber, giving his take after, again, you know, having a few run-ins with Gon, or this run-in specifically, and seeing him, right, in the field, in action, his talents on showcase. He actually even felt that it'd be a bit of a shame to, you know, potentially snuff out such a prodigious talent. And then, of course, you know, a really, really significant line of dialogue, right? One that you certainly have to put a pin in, you know, a bookmark moment. Don't you think it's meaningless to throw all that away just for your pride? How about that? But let's go back to the ending of the episode. Gorenyu, right? This is the ultimate homie. This is the ultimate team player. You know, there's such a cute moment as Bisky is just, you know, in tears, just at the idea of this man being so nice that someone like him is out here, right? Can exist. Because of course, you know, he split the prize or the payoff, the 4 billion, right? All 4 of them get it because of course, you know, he understands that, you know, they helped quite a bit, right? He was able to progress quite a bit because of these 3. So yeah, you know, Gorenyu, he's been one of the standouts. You know, he isn't really focused on earlier in Greed Island, you know, other than the initial, you know, entrance to the Greed Island itself. Right, it's that shot of him kind of looking at Gon as Gon is kind of chilling for Killua to show up. And then, you know, later down the line, once it kind of gets to the whole, you know, Razor and the 14 beasts, or Razor and his beasts, you know, aspect of the story, then he kind of comes back in. And, you know, since then, I've just enjoyed this character so much, you know, be it his really fun, you know, reactions to meeting Hisoka, especially in relation to, the young children such as Gon and Killua, knowing him as well, knowing Hisoka, that him being a part of that incredible dodgeball match, the greatest dodgeball match or game ever played. And then now this as well, kind of being a part of Tezagera's group, and then also, that alliance, and then now right at the end, giving it all up to Gon, because of course Tezagera and his men decided that they're going to quit the game. But there is an interesting thing that happens here, a bit of a conundrum, right? Because Gorenyu almost immediately calls the deal off because he's not having any of this, right? Them healing the bomber squad, Genthru and his boy Sub and Bara, right? He despises them. I think, the specific line of dialogue that is really quite applicable to many of the characters, because usually it is a matter of perspective, a matter of the amount of time you've spent with someone, regardless of their backgrounds, regardless of the things that they might have done in their past, like Killua in this case, who brings up, right, that he used to be an assassin. I used to be an assassin, right? And again, he poses a question to Gorenyu, can I use it, or would you use it, or would you allow it to be used on me, the breath of the archangel? And he said, of course. Gorenyu, that is, he said, of course. And then he puts it out there. I used to be an assassin. I've actually killed more people than them. Hell, I've killed people that are essentially non-participants. But Gorenyu holds firm on his belief there. He knows how he feels. He tells him, I like you, but I hate their guts. I hate their guts. But how Gorenyu feels is based on the time he spent with, all of them, because he's been around them enough for a long enough time in different situations and different experiences, some fun experiences, some challenging ones, some high risk ones, of course. He knows them, right? He has an understanding for them at this point, and he knows that, Killua is not a bad person, regardless of his background or the things he used to do. Right? Again, Killua calls himself a former assassin. But it's really great to see Killua's growth being showcased. And in this specific case, his moral growth. He's honest about his past. He's honest with himself, right? He doesn't sugarcoat anything. He puts it out there. And it's clear that he doesn't think like that anymore. And then, of course, the concept of redemption is present in this arc, in this story arc, right? Be it through Benolt's breakthrough, right? Be it through Razor and Jing, and then of course possibly through the bombers, right? That they maybe possibly could be redeemed. And but the thing is, Killua thinks he's worse than them. I don't know about that. Just in the last episode I saw these grown adults, these are grown ass men, right? That do actively kind of enjoy killing. Right? If need be, if it gets to that point. I mean, in the last episode or maybe 2 episodes ago, the one guy happened to come across Tezagera, right? So that made it really easy for the bomber squad. They had to kill him, right? They had to eliminate him because he could be the person that they're looking for. And to them, it's just this game, right? They're about to kill this guy, and they do kill him. They're just goofing around and stuff. But yeah, I think that should do it for this one, folks. If you enjoyed that, consider dropping a like, consider dropping some comments, give me your thoughts. If you are interested in early access or timer-based full length, or perhaps even full opacity, consider checking out the Patreon page. The links are in the description and the pinned comment. Also links to social media, if that's your thing. Right then, thank you so much for joining me, folks, and thank you for your time, because time is precious. It really is. And I do hope to see you again soon for episode 75. Until then, take it easy.